Hello everybody, I am trying to attempt a video that I've had on my filming schedule for about 4 months, and I just have not done it because it's about brush cleaning, and I hate brush cleaning. I hate it with a passion. I use brushes, I hate cleaning them. So what I want to do is review this brush cleaner, which is called St. Jack. It is a local to me brush cleaner, so it's made in Melbourne, and I'm from Melbourne, hooray. This is a brand that was developed by, I believe, a makeup artist during the pandemic. When she couldn't work, she decided to turn her focus on a brush cleaner, and this is supposed to be a pro strength brush cleaner. It's supposed to disinfect your brushes and be a spot cleaner. So instead of having to be at the sink and be washing and like shampooing your brushes and then rinsing until they're completely clean, you're supposed to just be able to use this essentially on like a cloth or a rag or something, and it's supposed to clean it entirely. Now, I have actually used quite a lot of this. To be fair, I'm going to say I think I used quite a lot of this because I was using it wrong, which I will talk about in this video as well. But I think it is very effective, but I don't know if it has changed my brush cleaning ways, if that makes sense. So what I have here is my brushes from the past month or so. I used to have a big tub under my desk where I'd just dump them in, and then I'd wash them every couple of months, and it'd be like 80 brushes. Now I'm trying to keep it exclusively to this cup. What that does mean though is sometimes I will use them until they're filthy because I can't fit another brush in there, and that's where I'm at. So today I'm going to try to wash these brushes using my St. Jack brush cleaner, and I'm going to show you how it works, show you what I think the limitations are, and then talk about my expectations I had for this and whether it's met it and whether it's changed my habits. That last one, the answer is no, but let's see if it will change my habits, because my habits need to change. Okay, I'm on the floor in my study. I thought it'd be good to do it on this base because it's sort of plastic and easily washable. I've got a big tea towel here. Now, the way you're supposed to use this is the pack that I got came with this little tin. Otherwise, you can use just a little container, a little jar or something. You're supposed to put a little bit in. The good thing about this particular jar is if you've got some left over, you can obviously keep it in there. All right, so you pour out some, not too much, just like a little shallow amount. You will go through this fairly quickly. So put that away, and then you get a brush. I'm going to get a fairly clean one to begin with so we can show you how easy it can be. This is what happens when I leave my brushes too long to wash. I tend to use them time and time again. Just dip it in, like the tip in, not too much. You don't soak it. You can waste a lot of product that way. I've learned it the hard way. So just tip it, give it a bit of tap off, and then this is just a tea towel. You can get a microfiber cloth, you can get a towel. This does a lot of the work. Okay, so essentially you do a lot of this action. One thing I did learn fairly early on is that a tea towel like this, which is just a dirty tea towel that needs to be washed anyway, it's not big enough if you're washing quite a lot of brushes, because as you see, you sort of move along and you need a towel. You need, if you do a lot of brushes, you need a towel. Now this is removing the product quite nicely, but there is still some left. And now the liquid is pretty much evaporated off the brush, so I'll get a little bit more. Dab, dab. It is cleaning up quite well. Now for me and my personal use, like that is clean enough. I know Hayley, who's was a makeup artist and trained as a makeup artist, that would probably not be clean enough for her, but this is pretty clean and it's almost instantly dry, which is really nice. So you can just leave that for a few minutes and then use it again. So if you had only like a handful of brushes and you want to clean them, you can use them straight away. It does leave a strong fragrance behind, and I can tell you that fragrance lingers and lingers. That's one negative about it, but it cleans it up really nicely. All right, let's check out this really messy one that's had a lot of cream blush on it. Tip, tip. Cleaning, cleaning, cleaning. All right, so that first dip pretty much hasn't removed much at all. It's still quite vibrant orange. You can't see it on camera as much, but it's vibrant orange. Dip, dip. I find working the product into the tips, just in the lid, helps a little bit. Because there is, like, you don't want to pick up too much product, but you also do want it to go through the brush a bit. All right, that was dip number 3. I'm going to call it there, and most of it's out, but there is still, you probably can't see in this lighting. I'm doing this quite late, so we've got the afternoon sun coming in, but it is tinted orange still, but it's much cleaner than it was. So it does get there, and if I did another 4th dip, I would probably get it all out. But since I've nearly used up all the liquid on 2 brushes, I'm going to hold it there, but that's not too bad. That's pretty good. So I've got to top this up again after just 2 brushes. Granted, they were fairly dirty. Okay, hopefully this process will show you, I don't know, demonstrate why I like this and why I also don't love it. Firstly, yes, it does work. Like, yes, it does clean the brushes quite well. There are limitations though, like I don't feel like deep in the bristles. If you've got product deep in the bristles, it doesn't really remove those super well. And if you do get down there, you're using a lot of product. So if you saturate your brush with the product to get deep down there, you're using up a lot, and this liquid isn't super cheap. However, if you've got something that's not super dirty, so this brush, for example, I don't use this one too much. I think I used it just a couple of times for blush. This one's shedding really badly. Wayne Goss, your brush is not good. It's still a bit tinted, but it's pretty much clean after 1 dip. So that was pretty easy. Okay, so the pros are that if you have brushes that aren't super dirty, you could actually wash them on the spot. You can use them straight away. So it is pretty convenient that way. It also means that you're not stuck at the sink for like an hour washing your brushes. You could theoretically be sitting in front of the TV and doing this if you want. So it makes the time go a little bit quicker. The downsides though, so I like this for a spot clean, but the downsides are that if you have quite dirty brushes, like I tend to do, I don't feel like this is quicker. You're still re-dipping and trying to get all the product out after quite a few minutes. Also, if your brushes are natural hair, they tend to shed. Like these 2 have started shedding everywhere. I think it's the high alcohol content. It's just making them dry and sort of brittle. This brush is a good example of it not really getting deep enough in. So this is a foundation brush. I can see probably from a midway, there's still foundation in there. It sort of superficially cleans it, but doesn't get quite into the middle enough. And when I do actually run my thumb through, you can see that it picks up the foundation, like the slightly wet foundation. So it's not quite getting all the product out. And I'll give that another go, but still not quite getting it all out. So if you do have makeup that's sort of deeper in the brush, I think a deep clean is still really valuable. Third top up. Oops. All right, so those are the brushes. They are clean to some degree anyway. I wouldn't say they're all perfectly clean, but they are clean. Here is the tea towel that I used to clean it. So it is quite dirty. And I also have some stray hairs from shedding brushes. All right, so what do I think about the St. Jack brush cleaner after cleaning these brushes today? Look, they do look nice and clean. They're ready to use. I think that's probably my favorite thing about it, is the fact that it's ready to use. You don't need to wait like overnight or a day for them to dry. I think the other pro is that if your brush isn't super dirty, it actually is very quick to clean. So this could even be a brush cleaner that you can use after every application of makeup if you're that so inclined. If you maybe put this in a spray bottle and give your brush a bit of a spritz and you have like a cloth or a tea towel, something next to your makeup station, you can just give your brushes a really quick wash and they're ready to go for the next time. If you do it that way, it is a lot faster and a lot easier, and you don't have to spend an hour cleaning your brushes every few weeks. However, there are some limitations to it. The first limitation is I don't feel like if you've got a very dirty brush that it cleans it all the way through. If you do dip your whole brush in there and you do cover the whole brush with the cleaning product, it absorbs a lot and you're wasting a lot of product. That small amount that you put in the tin will fully be absorbed by quite a dense brush. You just have to dip the tip in and do a lot of the legwork with the buffing motion on the towel. With really dirty brushes, you do have to go back a few times to really get the product out. So it gets to a point where you go, is it actually any quicker than shampooing your brush? And the answer is probably no. The good thing about the formula is though that even if you do have a little bit of makeup left in it, it does sanitize your brushes, so you know that it's not harboring a lot of bacteria. It does leave behind the signature St. Jack scent, which is up to you if you like that. I'm not too opposed to fragrance. This is not my favorite one. It smells just a little bit like soapy alcohol, I guess. It smells a bit like just soap lingering. The scent does linger for a very long time, to the point that I've got brushes that I've cleaned months ago with this stuff and I haven't used since. And when I smell them, I can still smell the fragrance. So the fragrance does linger. If you don't like fragrance on your face, you will not like this, because what's in your brush will eventually go on your makeup and on your face. So if you hate fragrance, I really think they should do a fragrance-free version of this. Another caution is if you have natural hair bristles, the alcohol in these could make them shed a little bit, because it does tend to dry it out. So if you are quite precious and you've got higher end brushes, they will probably benefit from a more gentle shampooing. The last limitation with switching over completely just to a spot cleaning method is, what do you do with the sponges? So your sponges, I'm sure technically you can use the product on your sponges, but I'm also hesitant because I feel like it will break down the sponges really quickly and your sponge will absorb a lot of it. And again, this is not a cheap bottle. So I'm probably about down to here. I've washed my brushes 3 times with it and I'm like, this is not gonna last all that long. So I would not be using it to clean sponges, which means I'm at the sink anyway using a sponge cleaner. So why not wash some brushes? One good purpose of this though is that you can actually depot it into like a spray bottle, a little spray bottle, and take it traveling with you. I find that a bit of a nuisance of traveling with makeup and makeup brushes is that you don't want to have really dirty brushes around your luggage, but at the same time, if you wash them, they can be quite wet. So this is the type of thing that you might want to take traveling to just clean your brushes on the go. So I'm a little bit mixed about this product. I see some really good benefits. It does clean quite effectively, but it's also got a lot of limitations as well. So what am I going to be doing with my brush cleaning habits going forward? Now, having this, I'm really hoping that what I'm going to do is make an effort to either not overload my brushes with product so they are quicker and easier to clean with a little bit of spot cleaner. But I do foresee that every couple of weeks I'm also going to have to do a little deep clean at the sink with my sponges, my foundation brushes, and those messy brushes that take a lot of scrubbing and a lot of re-dipping to clean. So I feel like this is a great technique for those really quick and simple brushes, but it's not completely replacing the shampooing at the sink, unfortunately. But the fact that I washed these about 10 minutes ago and they're like touch dry and I can use them gives me a little bit of confidence to declutter my brush collection to make it a little bit more curated and manageable, because knowing that I can just spend 20 minutes, clean all the brushes and then be ready is a really nice feeling. So I'm tempted to do that. If you were interested in checking this out, it is by no means the only spot cleaner out there for brushes. A lot of pro makeup brands have had them for years and years and years. You can also just use isopropyl alcohol from your local supermarket. So it is just the one that is sort of trendy at the moment. A lot of people are talking about it. Instagram kept telling me about it, so I wanted to try it. It does definitely work, but it's not going to completely replace my Daiso Puff and Sponge Cleaner. So there's that. If you did want to check it out, I'll have some links in the description box. I did buy this, and I will see you in the next one. And thank you to my members for supporting this channel. Bye.